Good morning. I'm Harley Schlanger from the LaRouche organization, but I'm speaking to you today in my position as the Vice Chairman of the Board of the Schiller Institute. It's March 12th, 2022, and this is a special update on a Saturday because of an extremely important message I'm bringing to you. As many of you already know, the Schiller Institute has initiated a campaign to get signatures on a petition titled "To Convoke an International Conference to Establish a New Security and Development Infrastructure for All Nations." This has been circulated for several weeks now and is being put out today with a press release announcing the release of almost 130 names of dignitaries, VIPs, and others, but with the intention to get many, many more, because our goal is not just to circulate a petition. It's to actually convene a conference which will address the most pressing strategic and security concerns for all people. The move from a unipolar order, which uses military force to carry out the looting policies of the financial swindlers of London and Wall Street, and replace it with a security architecture which takes into consideration the security of all sovereign nations and all peoples, and at the same time, a financial infrastructure and architecture which enables those nations to flourish in peaceful cooperative development. Instead, what we're seeing is an economic warfare campaign to destroy Russia, which uses sanctions as weapons of mass destruction, which have been used in the past and are still being used to target people such as the people of Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Iran, and other countries. But now they're being deployed in an extremely aggressive way, even more so than before, against Russia. This is a potentially disastrous policy because it threatens the world with nuclear war, because not of Putin, but because of the unwillingness of the West to reach an agreement with Russia which guarantees security for the people of Russia, including the Russian ethnic populations in the Donbass in Ukraine, who have been ruthlessly targeted and murdered by neo-Nazi gangs and Ukrainian security and defense forces. So this resolution, this petition for convening a conference, comes at a moment where we must have a shift. And the shift is based on the principle called the Peace of Westphalia. There will be a link at the bottom of this video. There'll be two links. One is to the petition itself, and I urge you to read it, sign it, and circulate it. And the second link will be to a press release which will include the names of the first 127 or so dignitaries who have signed it. This is not just some symbolic action. This is an organizing effort, and I'm urging you to join our effort to make this happen. Don't assume that the people in power who control the media and through the media control the minds of most of your fellow citizens, don't assume that they are going to win. The support for the operations against Russia in the United States and Western Europe are, to use an old expression, a mile wide and an inch deep. The people of the Western world are going to be hit and are being hit with tremendous consequences from this economic warfare against Russia in the form of energy shortages, skyrocketing energy prices, and a food crisis, which is already hitting much of the world, but will soon be hitting a supermarket near you when the shelves are empty. And when President Biden or Prime Minister Boris Johnson or Chancellor Scholz tells you this is because of Putin, that's a lie. This is because of the policy of the Western financial oligarchy. And they have to have power taken out of their hands by an international agreement of sovereign nations. Because the reason for this situation is that the bankers and the military-industrial complex they deploy does not want any sovereign nation to stand in the way of the Great Reset and the Green New Deal. And Russia and China are the two leading opponents in the world to the Great Reset and the Green New Deal. So join us. Join us in this fight to take power away from this corrupt cabal, from the financial establishment and their related corporate cartels, and restore the idea of a community of sovereign nation states that collaborate peacefully and in cooperation for the economic development of mankind. Thanks for joining me. Go to the bottom of the description section, download the petition and download the press release, and join our mobilization today.